Hey guys, it's Miss Cranford. I am getting ready to take you through the project you were going to do called the Gogh Sunflower project. And so it's really pretty. And we're going to get started. So the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to make your vase. This is a stencil. It's kind of hard to see on the white paper. So you are just going to trace around your stencil. And then you will go over that with crayon, with the black crayon. So you're going to trace over it, and then you are going to add some lines going across it, sort of like this. So you don't want the line to go all the way across, but you want it to show that this vase is rounded. So you kind of want to make your lines rounded. So that's really good. I could add more if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. And then you are going to use some liquid watercolor, and you are going to paint that in. And when you paint it, because it's on this paper like this, you can just kind of paint right over top of your vase. Like, you don't have to worry about going out of the lines a little bit. And so, there we go. I have my vase. I'm going to set that to the side. And then you are going to make your base paper. And the reason that we are going to use some special techniques on this paper instead of just painting it with liquid watercolor is because if you look at Van Gogh's work, he has a lot of texture, and we can see the lines when he paints. So, like, we can see where he took his paintbrush and did a swirl or a curl or a squiggly line. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to draw where our table is. And so the way we're going to do that is you're going to take 4 fingers. So show me 4 fingers, put them together, and you're going to put them down here at the bottom, and you're just going to draw a line across this way. We have our paper portrait style, not landscape style. So portrait style, you're going to draw your line across. Now, to do your top and your bottom, you are going to use some kind of a yellowish orange on the bottom. And so I'm going to make that color. And when you go to paint the bottom here, okay, we're just using thick brush strokes. Okay, it's not like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't necessarily really want it to be super smooth because we're trying to paint like the famous artist Vincent van Gogh. And so I'm just going to fill this in. Make sure you can see how I'm painting off my paper. I'm actually getting some on the Elmo. The Elmo pad. And we're going to fill this whole thing in. Right now we're using tempera paint. This is not watercolor paint. This is tempera paint. And so there we have it. So you'll have your bottom part done, and then you are going to do your top part, where I want you to focus on doing a sort of swirled brush stroke. And so I'm going to make my blue color for the top. And I will tell you, this might be a little bit darker than what your teacher gives you, but you're going to get the idea of what I'm talking about. And so when you go to do your background, you're going to do some sort of a swirl. So you do want to make sure that you fill in all the areas. So you can see really easily where I have white paint. So all I'm doing is sort of making kind of like an O. Now, you can do yours like that, or you can kind of come up with your own technique. Okay, I like when you guys choose to do things sort of on your own, using your own style and not necessarily the same way that I do it. So you're going to go through, you're going to fill up your whole paper with those little swirls or whatever painting technique that you do. So you want to fill up the whole thing, okay? And after you do that, you are going to create everything that you need to make some sunflowers. And so one of the things that we are going to do is we are going to do some painted paper for the petals. So let me clean my brush out just a little bit. And for your petals, you're going to take this yellow piece of paper and you're just doing little orange lines. Okay, now the difference between what I just showed you and this is that we don't want to fill up the entire piece of paper. We do want there to be some yellow that we see. Okay, so about like that would be good. And then I'm going to let this dry a little bit and put it to the side. And so now I'm going to make the centers for my sunflower. And so here is your long brown piece of paper. You're going to take a baby food jar lid and then just trace around 5 times. I'm not going to do it 5 times, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will fit. And then you are going to cut these out. And on the same day that you glue your vase to your base paper is going to be the day that you start making your sunflowers. And so I'm just going to cut out all 5 of my circles. And on my base paper, I'm going to go ahead and glue my vase out, and then I'm going to use my 5 sunflowers. Now this paper has 6, so do not be tricked, okay? But you're going to have 5 on here, and so go ahead and glue these down to where you want them, and then we're going to go to the petal part next, okay? So I'm just going to pretend here is my my center of my sunflower, and then I'm going to start making my petals. So I'm going to start over here, and I am going to tear very carefully long skinny lines. So I want to make sure that these are pretty skinny because I need enough paper for all of my sunflowers, okay? And so I'm going to tear this, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to tear some little petals here. And so obviously I would need to tear another one. So I might make it even a little bit skinnier than what I did earlier. So I'm going to make this one just a little bit skinnier. So here's another one, and I'm going to tear these to make my petals. And now I'm going to go to glue them on. So when I go to glue my petals on, remember this little circle is going to be on your base paper. And so you're not just going to be doing this on your desk, but you'll actually be doing it on a piece of paper. But you're going to put glue around the edges, and then you are going to take your petals, stick them on the glue, and you can overlap them a little bit because we know that in nature things are not perfect and they do overlap. And so there we go. So I'm going to just use this little piece here since I've got some extra. And so there we have a sunflower. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to take some black tissue paper. You're going to take little pieces of black tissue paper and you'll put glue on the center of your flower. And